Hello, everyone, and welcome back to API Test Hub. Today, I'm going to start a series on functional testing for our product's API. So, you have already seen that we have created a product's application using Spring Boot, and we will be using that product's application for doing different types of testing. So by different types of testing, I mean functional, regression, performance, automation, and everything. So to start with, I'm doing the functional testing. So in this series, we will cover the all concepts of functional testing, like what are the different test cases we can write, what is the test plan, what is the bug life cycle, how you can report the bugs, what are the different tools you can use for performing functional testing. Everything will be in this series. So let's begin and understand first, like, what is a functional testing. So now, what is a functional testing? So you have to understand that functional testing means that to see like your API is performing according to the requirements. So whatever the functions that API is supposed to do, is it doing as expected or not? For example, we have created that product's application, right? So it should add, delete, update, and fetch the product's detail. So it should be doing those things instead of doing something else. So that is the functional testing. You need to ensure that whatever the input you are giving, are you getting the expected output? For example, you want to get the product details of product 2, for example, HP laptop, and you are getting back the same results instead of some other laptop details. So if it's not there, then you should be getting a valid error in that case. So is this the application performing according the expectation or not? If not, then what is the behavior in those cases? So everything, including the functions, including the inputs and outputs of a particular application, is included in the functional testing. You have to make sure everything is working as expected. So the next question comes, why we need functional testing? So functional testing ensures that your application is working as expected. The features you have developed is according to the user's requirement. For example, you have developed an application to book your cab, for example, right? So whenever you are selecting a cab, it should be booked. Instead, it should go to some other place and do something else. So it should be working according to user's requirement. And why we do it? So we do it to avoid the bugs in the later stage. So if you do the testing of the functionality beforehand, then you can avoid the bugs at the user's end. So for example, you have created this product's application and you have tested it thoroughly, then it's a very less chance that the customer consuming that application will deal with any kinds of defects. So it is very necessary to perform functional testing before releasing your product to the production, to the end users. So it is very helpful for detecting the different kinds of issues at the early stage. Next is, if you are giving the customer a flawless, without any defect application to the user, then obviously that user will be more than happy to have a good kind of experience with your application. So it enhances the user satisfaction that whatever product, whatever application you have developed does not have any kind of defects. So functional testing is really important in any kinds of like software or the API you have developed. Functional testing holds a greater importance. Next comes the terms the functional versus the non functional testing. So you need to understand that the functional testing is the testing which focuses that what the system is doing, like what is the function of the system. For example, the product API, right? The main function of that API is to add the products, to delete, to update, and so on. And on the other hand, the non functional testing focuses on the performance of the system. So, in the non functional testing, the testing covers about the response time. For example, how much time your application is taking to respond back to the client. And what if many clients are working at the same time on your application? What is the how your application is handling that load? That type of testing comes under non-functional testing. And all type of functional, like you are testing the login, you are testing adding of a product, you deleting of the product, all type of testing comes under functional testing. So in this series we will be focusing on functional testing, and in the later parts of our videos we will be covering about non-functional testing as well, like how we can do the performance testing on our APIs. We will cover those as well. So that was about the functional testing. I hope you have understood what is the functional testing. Now, in the next video, we will start the actual function testing of our product's API. First of all, starting with the how you can see the documentation of your API and what is the starting point, how you can create the test case, how you can brainstorm, everything we will cover in the later videos and step-by-step approach. So that was all about functional testing. So stay tuned for the more videos. So keep learning. Thank you.